Some stories sound like nothing more than rumors, but they unfold in real life during the hours when the lights go out and trust disappears. In today's video, you'll hear 3 chilling experiences from a strange offer to drink to an abandoned house swallowed by darkness, and a stranger paddling silently through the night. This isn't a horror movie. These are things that really happened. Put on your headphones, turn off the lights, and get ready for what's coming. Story 1. Darkness in the basement. There's a moment right before something truly terrifying happens, where your instincts whisper something's not right, but most of the time, we ignore it. That's what I did, and I'll always regret it. It was early summer, beach town, warm air, and quieter weekends. Most of my close friends were settling down, so going out had become less frequent. But one night we decided to hit the bar again, just like old times. That's where we met James and Alec. They were older, maybe mid-30s, a bit short but friendly, and they blended into our group fast. We ended up hopping bars together, and by the end of the night, James was clearly paying me the most attention. It was harmless. Or so I thought. The next weekend, when my friends weren't available, I got a message from James. Just a casual, "What are you doing tonight?" I said. Nothing planned. Why, he said he and Alec were heading to a beach bar. I figured, why not? He offered to pick me up. I agreed. But when his car pulled up, Alec wasn't in the passenger seat. I went to open the back door, but James said, "Sit in the front." I hesitated. That whisper again. Something's not right. But I got in anyway. On the drive, I asked if Alec or anyone else was meeting us. James shrugged. Maybe. Then suggested a stop at a quieter bar first. Just for a few drinks before the real one, he said. That bar was something else. Dim. Claustrophobic. Lit by a low red glow that made everything feel off. There were barely any other people inside. James kept ordering drinks, more than I could handle. I'd already had shots at home, but he just kept lining them up. I told myself it was just him being generous. But the last drink, that one tasted different. After that, I remember nothing. When I opened my eyes, it was pitch black. I was lying on a cold concrete floor. I couldn't find my phone. Couldn't see a thing. I felt my way around and eventually found a wall. Ran my hands over it until I found a switch. When the light came on, it wasn't a bedroom or even a living room. It was some kind of utility closet, a water heater, cleaning supplies, a mop. No windows, just one closed door. I opened it slowly, and behind that was another dark room, this time carpeted. The kind of basement people put old furniture in and forget about. No lights. I stumbled forward, bumping into chairs. That's when I heard movement, a soft rustle, a couch creaking, and then a voice. Familiar. "Hey, you're awake." It was James. I turned toward the sound. I could barely make out his shape. He stood there across the room like a shadow with a voice. "You got a little too drunk," he said. "I brought you here to be safe." "Why was I locked in that room?" I asked. "Where's my phone? My stuff?" He stepped closer. His voice changed. "Just relax. I've got everything upstairs. You need to lie down." "No," I said. "I'm leaving. I want to go home." He stopped. His tone dropped. "No, you're not." And his hand moved to his jacket pocket, slow, casual, but intentional. A threat. My heart was pounding. I didn't have a plan. I didn't even have shoes. James walked past me, heading to the stairs. He unlocked the basement door with a key, stepped out, then shut and locked it behind him. I waited. I don't know how long. But when the lock clicked again, I was ready. As soon as the door opened, I lunged, shoved him back down the stairs, pinned him. My hand went into his pocket and I found it. A switchblade. I opened it, pressed it to his side. "Where's my phone?" I demanded. "Kitchen table." He gasped. "That's where it is." I grabbed it, grabbed my bag, and I ran. My brother picked me up. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I went to urgent care. Tests confirmed that I'd been drugged. Rohypnol. A lawyer is helping me now. We're building a case. But there's one thing I'll never have an answer. What was he going to do next? And what would have happened if I hadn't woken up? Story 2. The Dark House. You know that gut feeling, the one that creeps in like a whisper telling you something's off. I had that feeling, but I didn't listen. It was a summer evening, around 6 p.m. I was on delivery duty at the pizza place I worked at. Just another order, a chicken parm hero and a plain slice. Small one. No big deal. The address was tucked into the edge of town, more rural, less lit, less populated. The kind of place where properties had more grass than pavement. I drove down a quiet block that ended in a cul-de-sac. That's where the house was. Small, worn down. Next to it was an abandoned home overgrown with weeds and vines like it had been swallowed by time. And something else, the door was slightly open. Just barely. The air was still, uncomfortably still. I approached the door with the pizza bag in hand, and that's when I heard it, piano music. Soft, off tune, coming from inside the house. It didn't sound joyful, it sounded rehearsed, mechanical, like someone playing the same haunting melody over and over again. I knocked. No answer. I rang the bell. It didn't work. The music kept playing. That strange repetitive tune, almost hypnotic. I circled around to the backyard, half expecting to see someone through a back window. Instead, I found a mess. Junk littered across the grass. A rusted chain-link fence lay collapsed in the middle of the yard. It was like no one cared, or someone didn't want to be found. I knocked on the back door. Louder this time. Nothing. I checked the address with the restaurant. I was in the right place. So, I did the dumb thing. I pushed the front door open. "Pizza delivery," I called out. That piano melody paused, and a weak voice called from inside, "Over here." Then the music resumed. There were no lights on. The entire house felt cloaked in shadow. I stepped in slowly just past the threshold. The smell hit me first, musty like mold and something older. Forgotten. I walked forward, drawn to the sound. But then I stopped myself. This didn't feel right. "Sir," I called again. This time silence. Then another voice. Same one maybe, but closer now. "Yes. I'm in the dining room. Can you bring it in here?" My fingers gripped the pizza bag tighter. "What room are you in exactly?" I asked. A pause. Then, through the living room, straight ahead. There was no mention of any of this when the order was placed. No request for assistance. No hint of needing help. Still, a part of me felt bad. What if it really was some old guy who just couldn't get up? I walked forward. But instead of entering the room blindly, I leaned just enough to peek around the wall. That's when I saw it. The piano. Empty. The room. Empty. No one there. No movement. No silhouette. Just that haunting melody playing from somewhere else. I didn't wait to find out more. I backed away, turned around, and walked out fast but quiet. Got in my car, started the engine, and didn't look back until I hit the main road. Back at the shop, I explained everything. No one blamed me. But I couldn't shake the feeling. So later that night, I looked up the address online. And that's when my stomach dropped. The house had been foreclosed. It was supposed to be vacant for months. So then who placed the order? Who played the piano? And more importantly, what was waiting in that room if I had walked in. Story 3. The person on the canal. There are moments just a few seconds long that can change everything. A flash of light, a sudden movement, a single wrong decision. And I nearly didn't live to tell this story. It was summer. I was living alone at our canal-side house while my parents were away on an extended vacation in Savannah. We had a Boston whaler docked out back along with 2 jet skis. Because our house sat at the very end of the canal where few people ever passed by, it was usually quiet, private. And maybe that's why I let my guard down. That night, I invited over a girl I had just started seeing, let's call her Jane. We sat on the back patio, soaking in the hot tub, enjoying the summer air. When the jets stopped running, the only sound left was the dripping of water. Until I heard a soft, rhythmic paddling sound from the canal. I stood up, looked out toward the water, and saw a figure, silently kayaking past. I couldn't see his face. No clothes, no features, just a dark shape gliding through the night. I said to Jane, "It's kinda weird, someone kayaking out here at this hour." But I didn't know. That wouldn't be the last time I saw him. Later that night, after showering, we were lying in bed watching a movie, windows closed, side lamp off, the only light coming from the TV reflecting onto the water. Suddenly, a white flash passed across the window. It wasn't steady. It wasn't moonlight. It was a flashlight, shining directly into my room from the canal. Jane jolted upright. "Is that a helicopter?" I shook my head. "No. That's a flashlight. Someone is looking in." I turned off the TV. Darkness swallowed the room. I crept to the window, slowly leaned over to peek outside. And just like I feared, it was him. The man from the kayak. Still out there. Flashlight in hand. Waving it slowly. Patiently. Trying to look into my room like he knew I was there. Jane whispered, "How does he know this is the room? Why is he looking right at us?" I guessed he saw the TV light. He knows someone's here. I opened the window and shouted, "What do you want?" His voice came back weak. "I'm hurt. I can't get out of my boat." I asked, "Do you want me to call 911? He yelled, "No. Just help me get up on the dock." I turned to Jane. She whispered, "Maybe. You should help him." I sighed, threw on a hoodie, slipped on my sandals, headed for the back door. But the moment I flipped on the backyard light, Jane screamed from upstairs. I spun around. A figure was sprinting straight at me from the edge of the canal. I bolted back into the house, slammed the door shut, locked it just as something slammed hard against the other side. He was twisting the doorknob. I could hear it. He was right there, just inches away. I ran into the kitchen, grabbed the whole knife tray, charged upstairs, locked the bedroom door. Jane was shaking, saying I saw him. He was hiding out there waiting for you to turn on the light. He wasn't hurt at all. I called my dad. He yelled, "Don't call me, call 911 right now." The police came. They searched the canal with flashlights. Nothing. No one. Even the kayak was gone. I figured he went back for it, disappeared into the marsh. And from that moment on, I understood privacy can kill you. If Jane hadn't been there, if she hadn't screamed at just the right moment, maybe today you'd be watching a video about a strange disappearance by the canal. What we can't see is often the most dangerous. And sometimes a single moment of naivety, a simple decision, can bring you to the edge between life and death. Thank you for watching until the end. If you have a scary story of your own, don't hesitate to share it in the comments. Who knows, it might be featured in the next video. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and never, ever open the door if you're not sure who's standing outside.